Welcome to the Equipped Disciple channel. My name is Rick McClatchy. I will be your host. We are here to be and to make disciples of Jesus, and we do that through daily devos, through Sunday sermons, and through other discipleship resources. We are here to equip you to be an equipped disciple. Welcome into another day of your daily devos. I'm Pastor Rick, and we're finishing up Proverbs chapter 3 today. Got verses 27 through 35 on the docket. So let's go ahead and jump right in. If you could like and comment, subscribe, and share the video with a friend or two, that'd be awesome. So let's take a look at what we got to see in Proverbs chapter 3. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Okay, but anyway, verse 27, when it is in your power, don't withhold good from the one to whom it belongs. And don't say to your neighbor, go away and come back later. I'll give it to you tomorrow when it's there with you. Don't plan any harm against your neighbor, for he trusts you and lives near you. And don't accuse anyone without cause when he has done you no harm. So there's a lot of principles here in how to treat your neighbor. And so, hey, it's worth kind of just taking a look at them. First one, just do good. Do good to your neighbor. If you have the power in your hands to do good to someone, just choose to do good. It's even go beyond just being ambivalent or whatever. Like you're not good or bad. You're just kind of there. Like choose to do good to your neighbor. If you have something good that you can give, just give it. Choose to be generous, choose to be caring, choose to be kind, choose to be thoughtful. All of those kinds of things, because as it says, that in that verse that they trust you and live near you. We're implicitly kind of trusting each other when we move into an area. We're trusting the people around us to not be crazy and not do anything that would be challenging, frustrating, harmful, whatever. So it's kind of talking about like the social commitment that we have to each other and how important it is for us to think of other people and not just ourselves, because the actions that we do have impact on other people. And as much as we like to think that what we have going on is the most important thing, it's super critical for us just to remember that we need to love our neighbors. We need to love our neighbors as ourselves. And that's why I think Jesus laid it out so clearly. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 12, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, because it's kind of finding redemptive purpose in our self-centeredness. we're all self-centered to a degree, right? And so Jesus is like, you know what? I'm going to use that maybe sinful level of self-centeredness and turn it into something that can produce good by telling you that's the level I want you to measure how you treat other people by, is how do you want people to treat you? Like, how do you want people to treat you? Then you go and you set the example of how you want to be treated. The next one is don't put off till tomorrow what you have in your power to do today. So if you can help your neighbor today, if you can provide that thing today, if you can give that thing to them today, don't tell them I'll give it to you tomorrow just for the sake of kind of being in control, right? And that's part of the thing here is we want to consider others as more important than ourselves, and certainly not try to do any kind of power play where we're showing people who's boss or whatever. So don't put off till tomorrow what you have in your power to do today. That's where it says, don't say to your neighbor, go away and come back later. I'll give it to you tomorrow when it's there right with you. Like, don't be a jerk, like, don't be like that. Just give the thing to your neighbor. Be generous, be gracious, be kind. And then don't do harm. That one, I mean, it's kind of crazy that one even needs to be mentioned. Hey, but God thought it needed to be mentioned. So I thought I'd mention it too. Don't do harm to your neighbor. Treat them well. Be kind. Even when they're not kind to you. And I think that's probably important to specify, is even when they're not good to you, don't return evil for evil, but overcome evil with good. Don't return evil for evil, but overcome evil with good. Come on. How to treat your neighbor? No false accusations. Don't be coming up with crazy stuff and saying it about your neighbor when there's no cause, when there's no reason. It's funny. The Hebrew words in there literally mean, for no good reason, for just raising false accusations against your neighbor just because. Probably because there's opportunity to gain their property or something if you make them look really bad or whatever. So again, the motives for the false accusations are probably pretty rough. All right. So next, going on into verse 31, don't envy a violent man or choose any of his ways. Don't envy a violent man or choose any of his ways. Because his ways go ways you don't want to go. Up front, they might look attractive. Up front, you might think, man, that guy's got it going on. That guy gets what he wants. That guy, whatever. And so the Bible's just trying to tell you, like, hey, sometimes the initial appearance of something is not how it plays out in the long run. And so I'm just going to tell you, don't envy a violent man. It doesn't matter how attractive the package might look at the time. Just know that that road doesn't go anywhere you want to be. So don't envy a violent man and don't choose any of his ways. For the devious are detestable to the Lord, but he's a friend to the upright. The devious are detestable to the Lord, but he's a friend to the upright. And the Lord's curse is on the household of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the righteous. So devious versus upright equals detestable versus friend. So choose the relationship you'd like to have with God. I mean, is it really up for debate? Do you want to be detestable to the Lord? You want to be a friend of the Lord? So that makes, should you choose the path of deviousness or should we go the path of the upright? I'm voting for the path of the upright here, folks. Type upright in the comments if you agree with me. Hey, type detestable in the comments if you prefer the other side. I'm going to make you type detestable, okay? If you want to choose that path, you have to type detestable. I'm not going to let you get off the hook just by typing devious. No. Detestable in the comments. Go. Okay. So, but I just thought what an interesting delineation between the devious are detestable to the Lord and he's a friend to the upright. He blesses the home of the righteous. Obedience, we've talked about this a number of times in a lot of our daily devos. Obedience brings blessing. So he blesses the home of the righteous, those that choose to follow in the path of the Lord. He blesses their home. Again, these are general principles. I know that you could find an example of somebody that has been upright and righteous, and yet they've gone through some really hard times. However, the general rule, the general principle that guides most of the time, right, is that, and it's kind of crazy that the Lord's curse is on the household of the wicked. So it's not just their bad decisions are going to produce something, but that the Lord's curse is on that household. And also, we often think about prosperity from a financial standpoint and that kind of a thing, but the Lord blessing the home of the righteous can look a lot of different kind of ways. It could be on preserving the kids. It could be on physical health. It could be on spiritual well-being. It could be on emotional well-being. It could be a general sense of peace in the home. There could be a bunch of ways that the blessing of the Lord is expressed in that house that could be different than maybe what you would be automatically thinking about when you think about blessing. All right, verse 34, he mocks those who mock, but he gives grace to the humble. Reminds me of in James where it says that God resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. He resists, actively opposed to the proud, but he gives grace, unmerited favor, empowerment of the Holy Spirit to the humble. The wise will inherit honor, but he holds up fools to dishonor. And so I was just thinking about this grace to the humble and the wise inheriting honor. And in our discussion that we've been having over the last few days, that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So the fear of the Lord is the beginning of the wise life, right? And so God is in first place in the journey when it comes to the wise life. And the wise person inherits honor, and grace comes to the humble. And so that unmerited favor comes to those that choose to say, I don't have what it takes. I'm going to count on you, Lord. I'm going to trust in you. I'm not going to lean on my own understanding. I'm going to trust in you. Versus the prideful or the arrogant or going up to hear the mocker, right, that thinks he knows what's best, that he's going to come against the Lord because I think you're doing a terrible job or whatever. And so those people get mocked and those people get held up to dishonor. And so it's just to think of the pathway to honor. And a lot of times that's what we are kind of aiming for when we're prideful, is we are wanting people to give us the credit that we think we deserve. And yet the kingdom pathway to being well thought of, in a sense, to having that honor about your name, is kind of backwards or upside down compared to what we would we would be thinking our natural effort, our personal effort towards it. And the Lord's like, no, I'm going to give supernatural favor and blessing and empowerment and enablement to the humble, and the wise will inherit honor. It's like honor is something that is passed on to you, not something that you have earned with every, claw and scratch of the journey. So the pathway to honor goes through humility and trusting in the Lord with all of your heart and leaning not on your own understanding. And so that whole concept was just something I was contemplating a bunch as I was going through this section of scripture, is like, man, our natural flesh inclination is that pride. I've got this. I'm going to push my way through, that kind of a thing. and he's trying to tell you, no, humble yourself in the sight of the Lord and he will lift you up. But if you lift yourself up, then he's got to put you on down. He's got to, because he's not going to allow us to, quote unquote, thrive in an environment where we're actually making decisions that are to our own detriment, because God's too good, too loving, and too kind for that. He's going to hold us accountable, and he's going to resist the proud, because he knows that if we continue to be prideful, we destroy ourselves, and he loves us too much to let us destroy ourselves. And so he's going to resist the proud, but he's going to give grace to the humble to help us along that path once we have decided, I don't have enough. So with that, I hope that you have an amazing day. Let us all choose to walk in humility today and to be kind to our neighbor, to treat them as we would want to be treated, to give them what we have when we have it, not withholding from people, no false accusations, all that kind of stuff. With that, God bless you. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.